was a member of a church that encouraged me to become an HRS certified weekend parent for children who are in foster care. That really changed my life in that I learned how important it is to have a safe place to live and food to eat and clothes to wear.
I remember one of the very first times that I volunteered at a homeless shelter. It was actually to help set up a health fair. And I recognized how fortunate I was and how there's such a small line between being in a homeless shelter and not being in a homeless shelter.
I was part of a program where we made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for kids after school. And it really surprised me. I didn't know that these kids really, like some of them, it was going to be their only meal after school. And I was living in an area where I didn't know there was this kind of disparity, that there was these kids going to school and then going home and not having dinner. And it was really kind of an aha moment for me.
I can remember when I was about 13 or 14, my father, who was an instructor at Tallahassee Community College, actually would go out to the facility in Chattahoochee, which is where some of the criminals who actually had mental behavioral problems were institutionalized. And I would go with him, and he would actually teach them math. And so that also had a really big impact on me.
I was part of a team that went to Miami after Hurricane Andrew, which was many decades ago now, and served people whose homes had been totally destroyed. I felt when I went down, like, what am I going to do? I can't build a house. I have no carpentry skills. But it turned out I could give food out and comfort and encouragement, and that meant a lot to the individuals that I got to personally touch.
My work in the community to better the life of others was really spearheaded after I had a serious health issue 5 years ago. What I learned was that how precious life is and how your whole life can be turned around. And when I had the grace to have the angels that showed up and helped me, I realized that I want to be an angel now.
I think there have been several different experiences I've had that have made me very conscious of the divide in this community between the haves and the have-nots. In the course of me working in journalism and also serving on different nonprofit committees and boards, have made me really conscious of that. And it's something that I think all of us as servant leaders have an obligation to try to alleviate and help with as much as we can.
It's almost a moment in time in which I was talking to the CEO of Florida Blue, or it was Blue Cross at the time. His name is Dr. Robert Lafrano. And he said to me, "You know, Ilana, it's about the difference you make. It isn't about whether or not you've had experiences in your life that are just like the people in the community, but can you make a difference?"
My first philanthropic memory actually goes back to high school when they used to have the March of Dimes walk, and I remember having my can with a slit in the top and collecting dimes, nickels, quarters, pennies for that walk.
Feeding the needy in Jacksonville Beach, and this is way before Mission House. And it was through my church, and once a month we would bring meals to between 100 and 125 people at the beach. It was real clear to us, of these 100 to 125 people, there was so much more they needed than what we could provide.
You know, in the restaurant, there's a lot of people, Latinos, they come the first place actually that they come as a Latino to look for a job because they don't speak English or they need something, they come to the restaurant. And those one of the things, they have helped me to get involved to help them out. Sometimes even, with my son with the clinic next door, I don't have a job for them, but I will call my son to see if he has anything for them.
I really admire my boss, John Wilbanks. I've worked for him for a number of years, and he is so authentic and someone that you want to work for, someone that encourages you, someone who walks the talk, who gives it to you straight when you need it straight, but who also encourages you when you have done something good.
Abraham Lincoln, because he failed forward. He failed 17 times, but became the President of the United States. And we still have that opportunity in the United States today, and I love that.
I admire the most my mother. She's an amazing woman, very strong. She's 90 years old.
My middle daughter, she's 22 years old. Her name is Tamara, and she has learning disabilities. And she, despite her challenges, wakes up every single day ready to conquer it. And she has this incredible spirit and wants to be the best she can be.
Dolores Barr Weaver. Mrs. Weaver and her husband, too, have taken all of the blessings that have been bestowed upon them and are the ultimate community trustees.
The first one that comes to mind is Dottie Dorian. My experience with Dottie is that anything that she touches is just an incredible creative idea, whether it's art or it's writing or it's philanthropy. She's always been a role model and mentor for me.
My friends don't know that after I retire, I'm going to take piano lessons again.
All my friends know I love to sing, but when I'm home alone, I really sing. And I would never get up on stage and do that, much to my father's chagrin, dismay, whatever, but it's that when I'm home, I'm a rock star.
I know words to almost every song, particularly 70s and 80s. I just know the title, I typically know the artist, and I know every word of the song, and I love it.
They know that I like to run, but I don't think they realize that I like to run without listening to any music. And the reason I do that is because not only does running help me to relax and relieve the pressures of day-to-day work, but it also gives me time to contemplate.
I watch a lot of HGTV. I am very willing to take on a project, and so I've been looking at a lot of that show to see if I can even take up the tiles in my own house. So I'm crafty.